Let not your eyes deceive you, for what you see as Mel in the middle will really be Summer in the center, with Andy, never frantic Frud, in his normal state of mind.
Exactly right.
Uh-oh, this is a roasting Summer session? Ah!
Oh, no, I shouldn't say that, because really I'm the one doing the topic today, rather than Andy and Summer giving me the topic to talk about. But it's consistent with what we've been dealing with from week to week. And I couldn't help but bring this topic up because Norm Carlson, who's been on Drash Ministry, he said, Mel, I found an interesting article back in 1892 in our local Jamestown papers. And you see the article in front of you. He ran it off. I know it's not the most clear thing, but right in the center column, you see the title, Opposed to Marriage License. And this entire editorial or letter to the editor is about Mr. What's his name? Mr. Woodbury. I'm sorry, against Assemblyman Woodbury's bill back in 1892 to make ministers perform a wedding ceremony with a marriage license issued by the government. And as this letter from Mayville says, marriage is a divine command, and people in this state have gotten along very well in the last 100 years, so far as marriage is concerned, without being obliged to get a license. And I have no doubt in the future do equally as well. And the matter had better be left as it is. Well, the matter wasn't left as it was. The Assembly of New York and the governor signed it into law, whereby a pastor performing a marriage had to submit to a marriage license in order to make the marriage legal. Otherwise, if I understand correctly, that minister would be fined, and I think the fine still holds, of $100. So here's my question. I haven't been married yet. I'm always positive. That is, I say yet. And when I get married, I do not want to get married with a marriage license. And whether the person I may marry someday would agree to that, I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, having that marriage be conducted by a pastor with a Bible present, and that Bible signed by him, me, the bride-to-be, and witnesses there, is sufficient for me and my future bride someday to be married. What say you?
Ooh. That's cool. As long as you want neither of you to have any legal rights to the other person in any fashion. So if one of you's in the hospital, the other one can't do anything. If one of you dies, the other one can't do anything. If there's money things, the other one can't do anything. You're basically a stranger, which is, listen, I think it's stupid. But
although, could we not make an agreement outside of the ceremony itself?
Yes, but what if you suddenly die? This is not a pitch for the license. Like, I think the government should have nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can't function in society as a married couple if you're not married in society's way.
That is an issue I think would have to be dealt with.
Because they won't recognize her as your wife or you as her husband. So that could cause serious problems.
So is marriage about people, Mel, or is it about people and stuff? Because that's the question, right? The question is marriage defined as just two people? Like that's what it's about. It's just about people. Or does God up in heaven look down and say, no, you get the people and the stuff. And we gotta figure out what to do with the stuff in case the people disappear.
Right, because if you die or we break up, I want my half of the stuff. But here's another problem. Like, the side of that I would say is not like that, is like a medical or emergency type scenario where, like, if that's the only way I'm married to my husband in God's eyes, which is all that matters, but then there's a medical emergency and you're incapacitated, like, and no one will listen to me because on paper I'm not your wife.
On paper, right.
Then what happens to you? Because then you're on your own in the world's eyes and the world has you in their hand. What do I do? I can pray.
Yeah.
But that doesn't create a piece of paper. It doesn't create what they would require for me to, do what I would need to do.
Well, in reality, because I like what you asked, like, isn't there a way to do that outside of a marriage license? But the truth is, isn't that the same thing as a marriage license?
Right. It's
Like,
just
so
a different form.
I can go to the lawyer and make my wife the healthcare proxy.
Yep.
I can go and put a will together that leaves, because you can leave money and
Yeah.
stuff to
Yeah.
people that aren't married to. I can go do all that stuff, but at the same time, wouldn't it be just
What's
as
the point?
easy to go get the marriage license
get a
and say,
marriage
I can pay hundreds of dollars for a
Separate.
will and for all the lawyer fees and for all
Yeah.
the things, or I can go pay the $50 and I can get a marriage license.
Just so I can say I didn't get a marriage license.
Yeah, I know. I see your point.
So I could say I
see.
didn't get permission, but really I had to get permission individually for all these things.
But do you think, I love the question, Mel, because I think it really gets down to the idea. Does God care about people, or does he care all about the stuff? Because the marriage license, the state cares about the stuff.
Right.
And when
I
I
would
say
agree,
stuff,
right.
I'm not just talking about the finances and all that. I'm talking about the health care and stuff. It used to be you couldn't get health care if you weren't married.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just go put your girlfriend at the time on your health care.
Right.
Right? Like, they don't just let you do that. Now they've gotten so that there's a lot of leeway in that whole thing.
Yeah.
You can live
If
with
you
somebody
live
and you can do that. But it's funny because God is concerned about the people, but the state of New York is concerned about all the stuff. They don't care who's married. They want to know what happens when the two people decide not to get married.
Right, and they want to know who to come after when you didn't pay your bills. Seriously.
Exactly. Who's going to be responsible for this?
Yeah.
That's what they really
So-
want.
The state reduces marriage to stuff
Exactly.
rather than people.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the people are just stuff, right? Because
No.
here's the deal.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Go,
Like
go.
if you're looking at it and you say, when it comes down, I mean, all you got to do is look at divorce, right? Which we talked about last week. Look at divorce.
You're stealing my thing.
Go ahead.
No, go.
We look at divorce and we say, in divorce, do they care about the people? No, they care about who gets the stuff.
Have you ever seen a marriage license?
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a physical one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have
Yep.
to sign them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, this person, add some middle names, make it official, and sign some witnesses, and we're married, stamp, gold sticker, okay?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen divorce paperwork?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, do you have your Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what it looks like when you want to get divorced.
Oh.
Why is that?
Oh.
Why is
Because
that?
they're
Why?
just all about stuff.
Right, because, we have all these things that we have to figure out. Oh, wait. Can't we just, hey, couple middle names, we're agreeing we're not married, sign some witnesses, gold stamp, we're not married. Like, why is it like this?
Right. Well, I would, because I think government has stuck his nose in places where it ought not to be and has taken authority in ways that are beyond its proper boundaries. Meaning, government saw divorce as a cottage industry, maybe another stream of revenue.
Well,
So it's just like this
yeah.
thing is so warped.
So it's just
It's so
just like the
warped.
medical industry, right? Like let's like work together with the food industry, make everybody sick, and then we all just get rich. I'm serious. It's the same. Let's institute all these things, right? That cost me. You need to pay to get married. You need to pay a lot more to get divorced. A lot more to get divorced. A lot more to get divorced. Like crazy amounts to get divorced, right? But like then in the meantime, like let's twist the world and twist everything so that everybody wants to get divorced. Let's show you what you're missing even on TV. We're like, oh look,
Yeah.
look at how your partner's inadequate. So that you want to get divorced because then, you'll remarry because there's hope. And then you'll get divorced again and you'll get divorced again and you'll get divorced. It's such a...
So wouldn't it be possible to say where the marriage ceremony is a godly thing? He said it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But the marriage license is the enemy's counterfeit.
Right.
So God cares. The whole marriage ceremony was about people, was it not?
Yes.
Every aspect of it was about the people. It's about the people watching, the people in it, the people, whatever. But the counterfeit is all about the stuff of the people.
Yeah.
Right? We don't care who comes together. We don't care how they come together. We just want access and control of the stuff. We make it. Why do you have prenuptial agreements? Because it's about the stuff. Right? Why do you have people who refuse to get married, but they want to live together because of stuff? Why do you have people who refuse to get divorced? There's people who are living in open marriages.
That's true too.
Because they don't want to pay.
I lose my money.
Right? It's nonstop. But even it's sad because in the world's concept and the worldly contract for marriage, even the kids become stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right? We're splitting up the kids. Right? We're talking to a family that the parents get divorced. The mom's getting remarried to a guy in Denmark or Norway or somewhere that way. So this little kid, second grade kid, has got to spend 6 months in Denmark and 6 months in the United States. Instantly, his world is just changing like that.
Right.
That's horrible.
Right. It's horrible.
No visit there, no get to know you. That he leaves everything here and goes there. Right? Now God's way bigger,
utterly selfish,
and God can do all kinds of things with that, right? And lots of kids have survived that and actually thrive.
Yeah.
But a kid becomes stuff.
Yeah. That's what this has been reduced to, and that wasn't God's plan from the beginning.
That's
I mean, it's just totally backwards, and like you say, Andy, to me, it's a counterfeit. And to me, just as a person who's been single all his life, signing on to a license that says spouse and spouse, to me, shows this license is a fraud.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it's ungodly. It's not the way in which God defined marriage. And to me, allegiance is to him first rather than the state that has totally redefined the institution.
It's funny because, again, the enemy's always attempting to take that which is God's.
Yep.
Right? So marriage was God's from the beginning, and the enemy's just figured out how to take it. And the deal is there are a lot of people getting married today that aren't getting married under God. They're not getting married in a covenant with God in any way, shape, or form. And so we're now making them get a license.
Yeah.
Right? And now the state, and they not only do that, but wouldn't it be a better thing, maybe even if we had civil marriages? You can get married if you want to go get a marriage certificate, or you can have Christian marriages.
Yep.
Or you can have religious marriages where it's or you're recognized the exact same way if you just go have a ceremony.
That's the problem, the recognition. There's no recognition by the world then, which I could care less.
Yeah, I could kind of care less.
Until you're losing your home because you're not a real spouse, or someone dies or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only moment where I'm gonna be like, should I just have bought the stupid certificate and
But
so I could do this.
My thought is, what did they do before there was a marriage license?
Well, they
How
just
did they deal with the
acknowledged
stuff?
marriage. I mean, they knew. They just acknowledged who the wife was.
I love what the guy says here, right? Marriage is a private contract publicly ratified. That's what we were talking about the other day, right? And so you look at that and say the reason that people knew you were married is because you stood up in front of people and said you were married.
And you said you were married.
And
you
your
said,
word
that's
was
my
good
wife.
enough.
You were understood to be the wife. Like, and that's just it. And no one questioned that. You didn't then, when the husband died, say, well, who gets the stuff? Well, the wife does. The wife is there. Like, it's not a process. It's none of your business.
Yes, right.
She's still there.
Right. I know.
You just stay out of it. If they didn't.
I know. Yeah. Now, here's another thing that just making me think a whole lot. Where you're seeing people who are in their latter stages of life, 70s,
Yep.
80s,
Yep.
living together. They will not get married.
Yep.
Because it is an economic benefit, I guess, to be in the same home without going through the rigmarole of this whole marriage license and what happens with the wills. I'm almost thinking, should we, as pastors, perform a ceremony declaring they're married?
You know, it's a hard thing, partly because of intent, because, I know people who refuse to get married to a second person after the first husband or wife has passed away because of that, because of pensions, right? You're gonna lose,
exactly.
or Social Security,
or
all that stuff. You're going to lose that because it's somebody. Because Summer said it last time, somebody's responsibility to take care of you, right? So we don't want to lose all that stuff, so we refuse to get married. And again, that brings to me about intent. So now I'm looking at that and saying, well, do I want to do a ceremony from church with people who they're just trying to rip off the system that they agreed to, right? Now again, you can argue, is that their money, is it their stuff, should they blah blah blah, but the point is your intent is to do wrong according to the law.
Well, and you just care more about money and stuff than anything else. Like,
it goes back to, is it about the stuff or is it about the person? Right? Because again, if you really believe that this is what is right and that God has brought a second person into your life, why does it matter about all this stuff?
Right. You'll pay the price.
We want it both. Why aren't they worth it?
Yeah.
You'll pay the. I think, Andy, I think you bring up a really good point that helps to illumine my mind about this situation, which I'm so frustrated about, in seeing people in their 70s and 80s living together.
Yep.
Well, they think at that point it doesn't matter.
I guess not.
I'm old, so it somehow doesn't count.
Well, and I think we do see a push today of, I've talked to some people in that same boat, and their whole thing is companionship, right?
Right.
Doing somebody, but also somebody helping take care of things, right? They're in later stage of their life. They don't want to leave their house or whatever, and so they've invited somebody to come in to kind of help take care of things. And I think there may be some legitimacy to companionship.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to our conversation. Like, go back to stage one. Like, how do we know if they're really married? Are they really married? When are they really married? What's the intent of
then that goes into their personal details of,
That's right.
Are they just living together? Are they roommates? Are they best friends and they've never had sex?
Yeah, right.
Well, then who cares?
Yeah,
then
I know.
They're just best friends and roommates, even if they're a boy and a girl. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's not wrong.
Is it wrong for a man?
There is. Somebody would say, though, it's the appearance of evil.
Who cares what the appearance is? People thought Jesus was evil. They literally said that he was evil. Like, who cares what the appearance is?
When again, I guess we need to look at in the Christian world, we need to say, is companionship evil?
No.
Because friendship, I think it's funny because again, we've said this
Ruth
over
and Naomi
over.
were inappropriate then.
Right. And a whole bunch of Jonathan and David were inappropriate. But you look at things and you say, when like this world that we live in, the Christian, this is what, to me, we've talked about it before. One of the things that causes a lot of damage is you have people, you've never been married, right, Mal?
Right.
You have good friends, really good friends, best friends probably, right? When you get married, are you going to just forsake all of those friendships, just put them all aside and say, nope, it's just about my wife, period. She's now got to meet all of my needs. That's it. Because that's what we tell people to do, right? We tell them, like, hey, like when you get married, everybody else goes away. It's just about this one person meeting all your needs. That's a real hard sell to somebody who's been doing it your way for so long, has got really good friendships, right?
Don't do that, Mel.
Is it possible, but is it possible to keep a companion and not, not be hurting your marriage and those kind of things? Like, is it possible that two people could just live together and be really good friends? And the problem is...
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Is that anti-people? Right? Is that anti what God... Where in the Bible does God say, don't be really good friends with somebody?
No, we actually...
No, it's not there.
So I think, again, we have to look at this whole appearance of evil thing. We better first define what's evil.
Yeah.
Because, again, is it an appearance of evil, or is it just the appearance of what we've decided we don't like?
I think that's very important to discern.
Right, because think of our world today, though. If two women decide to live together, is that
Correct.
not the appearance of evil?
Andy, I think you bring up a great point. Right.
If two men,
Right.
two men live together.
And if it was two men, people would look at that more evil than two women. I'm sorry, that's why I'm...
No,
Is that fair?
I know
Yeah,
a lot.
is that fair?
I
Is
know
that
a lot
right?
of older women who live with another older woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
They live together. But again, is that not the appearance of evil in today's world?
Right, exactly.
I live with another girl.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I just
I don't care what the appearance is, Mo.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
just don't care. If I know it's a God thing, I could care less what you
Yeah.
think.
you get really in a big trouble if you start living with 3 or 4 women. So now you just got a big mess. So I think, Mel, that as Christians, one of the things that we need to do, get back to our word, which is what,
The actual
there are probably
Bible.
people listening that don't understand why we've been on a marriage kick for 4 weeks or divorce. It's because it's important in the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Get into your word and decide, did God really say that is a really important question.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We get a chance in a few weeks to team up and do a discussion on young earth, old earth.
Yep.
Part of these discussions aren't just so we can argue.
Yep. Yep.
The discussions are so that we're getting into the word and we're saying, did God really say this?
And to talk about things that are oftentimes kept within. That is, aren't out there in public, like just this discussion we've had.
You know what? We got a chance to sit and listen to that earlier today as a Christian married couple sat down and did a video on Christian sex. And the awkwardness in the room, like, wait, did we talk about that? Did we video that? Like, wait, what do we do with this whole thing? And they did it in such a way that it was really appropriate.
Wow, very good. Very good.
But it's one of those things that just hidden away.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well done, Mel. I like the topic.
Well, that's
Good
this
one, Mel.
edition of Summer in the Center.
Ah, shiesty.
Side. All right. See you next time.
Bye, guys.